Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here. And if you've ever had sciatica, you know it can be a big pain and hard to get rid of. So sciatica is any pain you feel that starts kind of in your lower back and goes down the back of your leg. And it may stop right in your butt area. It may go down the back of your upper leg. It may go down all the way to your foot. And it can be pain, or it can also be some numbness and tingling. It can even just manifest as numbness and tingling in your foot, but it may be coming from your back. Sciatica really is irritation of the sciatic nerve, and it's not really a diagnosis, it's more of a symptom because it can be caused by a number of different things. So it can be caused by a bulging disc in your spine, it can be caused by a tight piriformis muscle, that muscle kind of deep in your butt. Any irritation to that sciatic nerve is going to cause pain that goes down the back of your leg, or numbness and tingling. So if you're feeling any of these symptoms, there's a number of things you can do to get rid of the pain. Initially, you want to kind of get that nerve moving. So I'm going to show you a nerve glide today. I'm going to show you some other exercises. But then you also want to work on building core strength to really support your spine, especially if it's coming from your spine, if you have a bulging disc or arthritis or spinal stenosis and it's just kind of pinching on that nerve. You want to have a strong core, strong back muscles, strong abdominal muscles, strong hips to really support that spine. You also want your spine to be able to move, so mobility is important as well. So we're going to go through some exercises that kind of mobilize the nerve and start building a little bit of strength and just get everything moving there, because it may feel like you don't want to move when you have sciatica, but movement is going to help the most. So we're going to start with a nerve glide. So you just sit in a chair, and for this, we're mobilizing this nerve, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay because you have some irritation, so it's going to cause some discomfort, but you don't want it to be too uncomfortable. So I'll kind of show you what you do. So first, when you're sitting, you want to kick your leg out like this and kind of pull your toes back as you look down, and you should feel kind of a tension in the back of your leg. And then when you come down, you want to look up. And it should feel a little bit better this way. Now, if you are doing this and you're like, whoa, that's a really big stretch that really kind of hurts too much, really too much would be like over a 4 out of 10 pain, then you can keep your head up and just do it with your leg like this at first. Look up here and then look down if you can. But if you can't look down, if it's too much, keep your head straight. Just look up as you pull your leg down, and then look straight as you pull your leg out. Pulling your toes back causes more tension, so you can also keep your toes pointed out that way if you need to. Just start this way. But the end goal is to look down as you pull your toes back, and then look up like this. Really kind of getting that nerve moving. Nerves like to move. And so if they don't get enough movement, or if they get kind of stuck, that can cause more pain and more numbness and tingling. So really just very gently on this too. You don't want to do this really fast or anything. Real slow. Look down as you pull your toes back, and then look up as you pull your foot down. And you only want to do that about 10 times. And most commonly sciatica is just on one side, but if you happen to have pain on both sides, you can do the same thing on the other side, but you don't need to. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to move this chair out of the way and actually come and lie on our stomach on a mat. If you can't, or you're not ready to get down on the floor, you can do this on a bed or a couch. And so usually with sciatica, it feels better to do some extension. And so what we want to do is just lie on our stomach and push up on our hands into some spinal extension, and then come back down. Now, if that feels like too much, you can come on your elbows and push up, and then gradually work up to coming all the way up on your hands, and then back down. You just want to press up, just pause for a second or two at the top, and come back down, and then press up, and back down. And you want to do this 10 or 15 times. Again, a little bit of discomfort is okay, but it shouldn't be a sharp shooting pain. It shouldn't be 10 out of 10 pain. But generally with sciatica, this motion feels better than the bending forward motion. So 10 or 15 times like this. And then we're gonna get into some strengthening movements. So I'm gonna show you one with a band, and there's a way to do this without the band as well, but we're gonna use a band around our feet, and we're gonna do what's called a bird dog. So I like this one because it really works on stabilizing the core, and it doesn't stress the spine too much. So the bird dog is, you're gonna start in a hands and knees position, try to keep your back flat. So I like to tell people, pretend there's a glass of water on your back and you don't wanna spill it. So then you wanna lift one arm and the opposite leg and then bring them back down. And same thing on the other side. Now, if you feel like the band is too tough at first, you can do this without the band. I like the band, it gives a little extra challenge here. Also works on some hip extension. So working on hip extension is good for supporting the spine, can really help with sciatica. So you want to do 10 or 15 on each side. And then if you're still feeling good after that, you can rest a little bit and do one more set of 10 or 15 on each side. But keeping that back flat, just lifting the opposite arm and leg and just alternating back and forth. Okay, for the next one, I'm gonna do another strengthening exercise. We're gonna grab a dumbbell, and I have a 10-pound here, but you can use whatever weight you're comfortable using. So this is another one of my favorite exercises for kind of strengthening and stabilizing the core. So it's a dead bug. So you're gonna hold this weight overhead. And again, if you're not ready to hold a weight overhead, you don't have to. You can also hold like a pillow or a ball to start with. We're just gonna hold here, try to keep your back flat on the ground and tap one heel down and then tap the other heel. So you're really working on those lower core muscles, really working on keeping that back flat to the ground as you do this movement. Getting a little arm strength in there too. But you wanna do about 10 or 15 total and then take a break. And then repeat that for 1 or 2 more sets where you just tap, tap, and just alternate back and forth 10 or 15 times. If you're still feeling good, you can do 1 more set. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 more exercise, and this one can be tough. It's not a hard exercise, but sometimes it's hard to get the hang of. So it's a hip hinge, and it's really important because it kind of gets our hips and our spine moving separately, moving independently of each other, and moving in the correct way. So I'll show you from the side and the front. We're gonna do it with no weight or anything first. So feet about shoulder width apart. And what you wanna do is you're gonna hinge at the hip. So we're not bending over. We wanna keep our upper body up straight. We're gonna stick our butt back like that, and we're gonna use our hands to kind of balance us. So you're just gonna hinge there, kind of lean forward and back up, hinge and back up, hinge. Nice and slow, really sticking that butt back like that and our hands forward. Let me show you from the front. So hinge here and hinge here. We're really working on just keeping our upper body up straight and just sticking our hips back and slightly bending your knees as you kind of stick your hips back like that. So you want to do about 10 or 15 of those, and then you can repeat that. So it'll be like 20 to 30 total. But all of those exercises will kind of calm down the sciatic nerve and then start building a little bit of strength while we're adding movement, because the more we can move, the better we'll feel. Even though it may feel like, you know, it hurts a lot, I just want to sit on the couch, I just want to lie down. But movement is actually going to get the blood flowing, get that nerve moving like it should, because it can get stuck kind of along its track. And then that can cause more pain, cause numbness and tingling. So if we get it moving, we get it feeling better, then that can actually help decrease that pain. And then we want to build strength to get rid of it completely and also keep it from coming back in the future. So try all of those. Those are things you can do You can do the nerve glide and the extension daily, maybe the strengthening exercises every other day, but be patient, just add these things to your routine, and eventually you can get rid of that sciatica.